Surf fishing the Gulf during rough conditions. Today I'm going to share some tips and tricks I use running guides during rough conditions. Welcome to episode 8 of What's Happening Surf Fishing. We're going to deal with rough water, guys. It's just going to happen. And it sucks, right? Especially for you weekend warriors out there that you work all week, you can't wait for the weekend, and it's just blown out there. Don't hang up the rods just yet, guys. There's ways around it. There's skills involved. There's strategies to use to have a successful day out there surf fishing during rough conditions. Today is the first day of our 2025 Spring Pompano Showdown. My wife and I have been running these surf fishing events since 2021. We also have a successful surf fishing guide business with a physical location right here in Perdido Key, Florida. After this video, if you want to take a look at what we're doing, you can find all our products, all our services, all our events at panhandlesalt.com. Let's jump right into it, guys. It's rough out there. It is tournament kickoff day, and I got some anglers out there sweating. It is 1:20 p.m. I've been open since about 6, and I've burned through about 30 of these Spudniks already. Meaning anglers are breaking these guys off and coming in and buying more. Good for me, good for Redfin, but not good for the end user. Running guides, a lot of times, like my clients, they only have a small window to fish. Meaning they're here on vacation, they got a couple days left. They don't have that luxury like the locals have, that we can kind of wait it out and wait for better conditions. Like if they want to fish, we're going. Basically, lightning is the only thing that'll stop me. So how do you navigate that, right? How do you combat these rough surf conditions? First thing I'm going to do, guys, when I get out on the beach is I'm going to take a second to observe. As rough as it may be, there's always a calmer spot. Usually you're going to find these calmer locations in deeper water. Sandbars are going to create the illusion that it's rougher than it may be. Where you got water crashing over these bars, splashing up, building up, right? So that's what creates the wave, right? Is the sandbar. The current comes in, it hits the bar, it builds, and it crashes. You might be staring at like 3 to 5 foot rollers out there. Oh my goodness, look at those waves. The surfers are out, I can't fish. Absolutely false. I'm gonna find those deeper holes where the sandbar digs down like it's been dug out, and I guarantee you find those spots, it's gonna be calmer there. Meaning you're not gonna have the crashing waves, the water's not gonna be all churned up, it's gonna be moving. You're gonna see some lumps, but nothing like the big rollers. And I guarantee you guys, that's more than likely where those fish are hanging out too. Like if I was a fish, I don't wanna hang out by the sandbars where I'm getting pounded to death by waves. I'm going to find those deeper locations where it's calmer. I'm going to be able to hang out there comfortably. I'm going to be able to feed there. It's just a smarter spot to spend my time, in the water or on the beach. So now I've scoured the beach. I've found a calmer location. I'm setting up my spikes. Now I got to fish it. What approach are you taking to fish these rougher conditions? Are you just doing the same old thing, putting a heavier weight on there and slinging it out? Or are you taking precautions to make sure you're going to fish effectively? So now I have to test the waters. I'm a 3-ounce Spudnik guy. No matter if I need it or not, it's just that 3 ounces fits the rods that I'm using well. It can be flat, calm with a north wind, and I'm still throwing 3 ounces because I'm going to get the best performance out of my rod with that weight. So I'm going to attempt my 3-ounce Spudnik first. I'm going to sling it out. It's going to give me a good idea of what that current's doing. Is my line pulling east or west before it hits bottom? If you trust your cast, if you trust you have a straight cast, by the time you tighten it down, you can look up your line, and if it's angled way over here or angled way over there, you know you got some strong current pull down there. So let's say I do. Let's say we have some strong current pulling hard to the east. I throw my line out, I lock it down, I look at my line, and it's all cocked like this. I have to adjust to that. If I throw 4 lines out and they're all kicked to the side, I haven't put bait anywhere near where I intended to. Surf fishing is 100% bait placement, guys. It's not how far I can throw it. It's not what fancy bait I got on. It's where I'm throwing it and presenting that bait. If you have good bait placement, guys, that pompano is going to hit pretty much whatever's on that hook. So now I found a good spot. I'm getting the rest of my spread out. My 3-ounce Spudniks are holding. And then I start fishing, and I will get into what else to do at that point. But let's back up a minute, and let's say 3 ounces are not holding. You're throwing a 3-ounce Spudnik out there, it's dragging. Again, your bait is not gonna stay where you intended it to stay. I gotta go 4 ounces. If I'm bumping up to 4 ounces, the first thing I'm gonna do is check my leaders. Am I fishing 15? Am I fishing 18? Am I fishing 20? You start strapping on 4 ounces of weight on a lighter leader, you're gonna snap it. Especially in that current. If you don't snap it with the cast, you're probably gonna snap it trying to get the Spudnik unlocked. So I need 4 ounces of weight. I'm looking at my leaders, I'm bumping that up. I'm fishing 100% Perdido leader at this time, so if I'm using 4 ounces of weight, I'm using the 27 pound. The 18 is good up to about 3 ounces, but even with that current, if 3 ounces are holding, I still might be a little hesitant to use the 18. Just getting that Spudnik unlodged, I could snap it. You got a lot of pull in water, you're pulling back, and our stuff is thin by design. I'm bumping up to 27. So I'm aiming for the lip of that sandbar out there. I sling it off. I'm way over here by the time I lock it down. I have to adjust. I'm gonna reel that back in. It's pulling west, so on my next cast out, I'm slinging east. I'm gonna sling a slight angle to my east, so when I do lock it down, it'll be in front of me. Now I got my bait in the ballpark of where I want it. And now I'm gonna observe again. What's my rod tip doing? Is it pulling down and holding like I got a freaking stingray on there? Or does it have a slight bend like it normally does? Is it pulling hard, bouncing back up, pulling hard, bouncing back up? All those different rod tip movements will tell me what the water is doing underneath the surface. So if it pulls hard and stays down, like where it won't even let my rod tip settle back up, pulls it down and it stays down, I'm getting that bait out of there. There is no way a fish is gonna be hanging around in that zone. It's too strong. I'm gonna do that until I find a spot where my rod tip bends and it stays like it should. And you will find that spot, guys. You just have to search for it. All right, guys, I had to take a break from this video. Got super busy yesterday. We are in tournament weekend. I think I mentioned that before. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I will be releasing that video right after this one. Where were we? I believe we were fishing at this point, right? We had already checked leaders, adjusted weights. So now we have to fish this rough conditions, right? With what we're facing. Before I throw any bait out, I'm bait threading it. Bait thread is about the same thing as the elastic in your underwear. You take out a roll here, you pull you some off, you wrap it around your bait and your hook at the same time. Do me about 5-6 wraps, and then you pull it and it pops. No cutting, no tying knots, anything like that. And this bait thread will actually sink into the meat of the bait. Very effective, guys. We get all our thread from Redfin Fishing. If you don't use this, what's gonna happen is just the current pull, it's just gonna knock your bait off. So I am gonna bait thread. During those rougher conditions also, if you pay attention to the shoreline, you will see how hard that water is pulling back. Meaning once it hits land and it's pulling back into the Gulf, it is pulling hard. So without a doubt, it's gonna be pulling fleas and clams right back out into the surf. So I'm definitely gonna throw profiles. Meaning floats, like even larger floats. I need to give those guys something to look at, plus mimic the bait that's already floating around out there. If you have found the calmer water, one of these holes, you figured out your leader size, you figured out your weight, you know that everything is holding correctly like it should, and there's a lot of rough water around you, I can almost guarantee, guys, if there is fish in the area, that's where they're gonna be. They're gonna be in that calmer water, either weathering the storm or waiting on a meal. So if you're not getting hits in that area right off the bat, I'm not necessarily moving. Not on days like this. What I am gonna do is wait for environmental changes. That can be something as simple as the sun peeking out from behind the clouds. A wind direction change, that's big. Meaning if it's blowing southeast for hours and hours and hours, then it shifts west, I wanna keep up with that. Like I wanna know what time those wind changes are gonna happen. Changes like that will activate a bite. It's not gonna be comfortable out there, guys. It's gonna take some adjusting, but you can be successful surf fishing those rougher conditions. We are in tournament weekend. It is rough out there. Guys are struggling. Which prompted this video? I always wanna share what I'm learning out there, the struggles that I've gone through and overcame to help you guys become better surf anglers in the Gulf. If you would like to check out everything that we're involved with, you can find all information at panhandlesalt.com. We have a physical location in Perdido Key. We're running surf fishing trips and surf fishing lessons. We also hold multiple events a year that brings the surf fishing community together. Thanks for tuning in. Keep an eye out for the tournament video. It will be released right after this one. See you guys on the next one.